What is up, guys? DJ Neeks here. For those of you who may find this that are not familiar with my channel, this is basically just a vlog where I just talk about a certain subject or other things. For those of you, though, who have been regular followers, this may be a video that you probably may have seen coming. I haven't really hinted at, though. It's just kind of a spur of the moment, but it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. This is basically, I'm going to title this another one of those Neeks Rambles videos, where I'm basically going to be talking and rambling about just something, whether it's a certain subject or a couple certain subjects. And a couple of those is basically going to be focused on one particular thing, and that is Star Wars. You guys have probably heard me talk about it in my other videos, probably in my Bounty Hunter playthrough, if you've seen that, which I know a lot of you have, because that's actually one of my highest viewed playthroughs, which I thank you for that. But for those of you who may not have seen my videos before, may not have seen that, I am a fanatic when it comes to Star Wars. I absolutely love it. There are so many things about it that it's one of those things where when you watch it when you were a kid, it just made your imagination run wild. There were so many things about it that you just couldn't help but love. And with the recent release of not just the Battlefront game, but also the new movie, The Force Awakens, which I just recently saw. And as a matter of fact, I saw it for a second time today on Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you watching, by the way. So in this, obviously, when I say I love Star Wars, I mean, for those of you who love it too, you can understand why, I'm sure. So there's really no need to go into detail about why. And if you're not, well, it's one of those things where I would say either watch the movies yourself, or get a friend who is a fan. You may not be yourself, but watch it with your friend who is a fan, and so that way they can be able to maybe answer some questions you have or explain some things you have. That's what I did with some friends of mine earlier this year, and now they are huge fans. So anyway, before I talk about the main thing I want to talk about in this video, which is going to be why I endorse the MMO Star Wars The Old Republic over Battlefront as a better Star Wars game and a better game to play if you're a Star Wars fan. Before I do that, let me quickly give you my thoughts on the new movie, having now seen it a second time today. I loved it. Now, do I love it as much or more than The Empire Strikes Back? I can't say yet, and the reason why is because this is the first of another trilogy. We have to wait until the second and third movie to come out to get the big picture about this story. We really didn't necessarily get the big picture until, Return of the Jedi came out. But, I mean, heck, even the way Empire Strikes Back went and it ended, that's why it became so iconic. But there were so many other things that were just iconic about that movie, like when we got to meet Yoda. And the scenes with Luke and Yoda, I think, are my favorite parts about Empire Strikes Back. The things that Yoda teaches him, how Yoda at first tests him by pretending to be all silly and oh, I'm a cookie old man, but then he just quickly changed his tone after he's had enough of Luke's impatience. He's like, he is so not too impatient, much anger in this one. So, and the scene where he explains to him about the Force, telling him about size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you? That's just one of my absolute favorite scenes, where it's like you watch that scene and then you just cannot help but shake your head when you see the midi-chlorians explanation from Qui-Gon in Phantom Menace. It's just it's such a great moment in that movie, and just all the moments with the scenes with Yoda are just fantastic moments. So I'm not quite ready to put Force Awakens above Empire Strikes Back, even though some people have said they actually like it more than Empire Strikes Back. I'm not quite ready to go that far yet, because this is the beginning of a new story, or rather, the continuation of the grand story. But there's a new story here in play here. There's a giant big picture, and don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything. There's not going to be any spoilers in this. We're in this little mini review, I guess you could call it. The acting is fantastic, an absolute 10 times better than any of the acting that we saw in the prequels, let alone from, with the exception of Ewan McGregor, because pretty much everyone was like, yeah, the prequels are awful, but Ewan McGregor is pretty much the best part about the prequels. His acting, he's always been a good actor, and his acting as Obi-Wan was always pretty good. It was some of the others around him, even Anakin or Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. But then again, that I've heard some people say, I'm not really going to blame, because we saw Natalie Portman. She's a great actress. She showed that in other movies like The Black Swan. It's more so because of the horrible writing and dialogue that they were given for their characters, So it's hard to blame their acting for those. But anyway, great acting in Force Awakens by both the old stars and our new stars, getting to see, familiar faces. And they were announced to everyone, so we all knew that Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, they were going to be in the new movie. Great acting from them. It was great seeing them get to replay their characters, and then you get to meet these new characters. Especially Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren, pretty much the new bad guy on the block, trying to take over for Darth Vader as the new head bad guy here, and he's not. We're all. He's not ready to be like greater than Vader, although he's trying to be. The character is trying to be better than Vader was, or more powerful than he is. But we're all like, yeah, we can see you're trying to be that, but you're not there yet. So, although you could have the makings of a great villain. So, but that's what I think the second and third movies are going to be for. So it's like one of those. It's like they're just setting it up. We're reintroducing you guys to this world. We're letting you know how things have kind of changed over the past 30 years. And that we have some new characters to introduce you to, so you can care about them. And they did. They did a great job getting us to actually care about these new characters. To the point where late in the movie, we cared about what happened to them. And there are some great moments in this movie. And the directing and cinematography and sound editing and just all the different things that go into directing, J.J. Abrams did a fantastic job. You can just see notable differences between this movie and even as recent as Revenge of the Sith. I mean, some of the shots that were made were just fantastic. You had the classic music from John Williams. He made a triumphant return. There is a lot of nostalgia in this one, which if you're a longtime fan like myself, you absolutely loved getting to see all those references and such. Absolutely great. And I am so looking forward to the next movie. I give the movie, if I was to give it a rating, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It's such, I cannot wait to see it again. I saw it with my parents today. I saw it the first time on Thursday night when it debuted. And I cannot wait to see it again, because you get to, of course, when you see a movie a second time or even a third time, you get to look for and notice different things. And it's a different experience seeing this movie because a second or third time, because you already know what happens. So then there are other things that you look for. And also when you know what's going to happen, you can anticipate it, but it can still affect you. And, it's a fantastic experience, especially seeing it with a full crowd of Star Wars fans. As long as you don't get any annoying moviegoers. But an auditorium full of Star Wars fans with this kind of movie, with all the nostalgia and references, when you see Han and Chewie go on screen for the first time, the whole crowd goes crazy seeing them. It's great. So yeah, I absolutely loved The Force Awakens. All right, so that's my little thoughts and mini review on Force Awakens. Go see it, whether you're a Star Wars fan or not. I've heard that this has actually made some people excited about Star Wars that were not into Star Wars before, that they actually now want to see the previous movies to get the full picture, which I think is fantastic. That this would make them want to watch the original trilogy, get to know some of the other characters like Yoda. I absolutely love that this movie has made us proud to be Star Wars fans again. Because for a while we were kind of like, when the prequels were out, we were kind of embarrassed because it was getting kind of a joke at that point. But this is one of those. It's made everyone excited and happy to be Star Wars fans again. And I love that. I love seeing the absolute universal love, not necessarily of the movie, but of the franchise again. It's fun to be a Star Wars fan again. This is one of the best times ever to be it. So, Now that that is done, let's now get to the main reason I'm making this video, the main topic. In light of the release of the movie, EA decided to take up a video game license of a Star Wars game that was really cool and fun to play on the days of the PlayStation 2, and that was Battlefront. I had those games myself. They were a lot of fun. And they had a pretty cool kind of single-player campaign where you played, I think it was called Conquest Mode, where you could play as each faction or certain factions, and it was tremendous fun. There was spaceship battles. There was being able to play all the different factions and different units, play certain hero units. The matches where you could play all the various different hero units, either on the good side or the bad side, that was great from both the original movies and the prequels. I think you could play between, like, Count Dooku, General Grievous, Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, Jango Fett, or Boba Fett. All those different guys on the Empire side, and then on the Republic or Rebellion side, you had all those heroes. It was a lot of fun. So they decided to revive the franchise. And unfortunately, it has become... it's become clear to me that this was merely an attempt for them to, one, they decided to give the development of this game to DICE, who has worked on the Battlefield games, which are fine first-person shooter games, but only if you're into that genre. If you're not, well, yeah. They also have come to this weird conclusion, and this was shown with a couple of other games, including Titanfall, that we're going to have games where it's only multiplayer and no single-player component at all. And and for those of you who are saying, no, there is a single-player component, it's called survival. Quit being naive, okay? That is not single-player. That is a joke. That is an absolute, hysterical joke of a single-player component. It is not legit. Don't let anyone tell you different. This game is nothing but multiplayer. There is such a lack of content as well, and they are overcharging you. They're asking you to pay $120 to not only get the game, but then you get the special deluxe edition upgrades, which is supposed to include the Han Solo blaster, which you can earn in the game, but if you pay $10, you'll get it right away, and it's been shown it's a very overpowered weapon. So, hey, you want the overpowered weapon? Pay us $10. If not, well, then you have to work a very long time in the game to actually earn it. So, right there, it's like, okay, so you're telling us I have to give you more money, or I have to work extremely hard, put tons of work and hours into this game in order to get it. Then, they want you to spend $50 for their season pass. That's right. Just like how they do with Call of Duty and Battlefield with their season passes, where it's pay us this huge amount of money, and you will get maps, you'll get weapons, you'll get avatars, you'll get dog tags, you'll get decals, you'll get all this stupid stuff. And I'm sorry, if you're someone who loves these first-person shooter games, more power to you, but I just do not get this. These kind of games just bore the heck out of me. After a while, there's nothing motivating me to keep playing, just running around doing multiplayer first-person shooting. I don't understand this. If you have a bunch of friends who you can play with all the time, I guess I can understand that appeal. If you have a bunch of friends who love to play these games, you can just play all the time and just goof around and talk while playing, great. But if you're someone who doesn't, if you're used to playing single-player games, then what's going to keep you playing, But my biggest problem, I mean, because honestly, guys, this is just either Battlefield or Call of Duty with a Star Wars skin of paint, although I've heard guys like Total Biscuit say, no, actually that would be better, because Battlefield actually had more content than this game does. There's some guys like Angry Joe and Total Biscuit that have done very well in-depth reviews of this game, and I highly encourage, go check out their videos and watch their reviews of this game, to see the truth about this game, the lack of content, and the way that they have poorly designed this game. It's absolutely ridiculous. But my biggest problem with this game is that the PR department has been trying to sell you on that this is supposed to be like the ultimate Star Wars experience. This, IGN said, this fulfills all of my Star Wars fantasies, which is, I don't know what fantasies that reviewer had from IGN what his Star Wars fantasies are, but I find that super hard to believe if that's all your Star Wars fantasies are limited to. There is so much to be desired from this. Is your Star Wars fantasy just either being in a big battle between Rebellion and Empire troops? Is that all your Star Wars fantasies are limited to? But they're selling this that this is like the ultimate Star Wars video game experience. That this is the game that fulfills all your Star Wars fantasies. That is my biggest problem with this. It's basically they are blatantly trying to take advantage of the Star Wars fan base with their first-person shooter formula. Trying to say, buy our first-person shooter game that so many people love to spend money on, and you will be able to get an ultimate Star Wars experience. And I hate that. I hate that they are basically trying to not only take advantage of their first-person shooter fan base, but they're now trying to take advantage of the Star Wars fan base. And because what's infuriating about this, and this obviously may be different for you, depending on what it is that you're looking to get from a Star Wars game, what your personal preferences are. But, I mean, my gosh, there's a few other Star Wars games that I could name that are much better actual Star Wars games than this new Battlefront game is. And, you know, to say the previous two Battlefront games is kind of a given, I think, because that's pretty much what a lot of people agree on. But my gosh, I mean, what is it you're wanting to get from a Star Wars game? I have my ideal idea or preference for a Star Wars game has always been give me a game that lets me be able to create my own Star Wars character from a various different array of choices of classes, and let me be able to experience a different story with each class in the Star Wars universe, being able to go explore all the different planets in the Star Wars universe, encounter various different enemies, have all these different storylines, being able to use all these different powers, being able to make good choices or bad choices, you know, light side or dark side, whether you're a Force user class or not, and you know, where you actually feel like you're in the Star Wars universe. That is what I want from a Star Wars game. Not what they offer in Battlefront. And that's why I want to make it, you know, I want to make this point, because no one is saying this, and I'm shocked no one is saying this, but I guess some people are not really thinking about this. I think it's also because a lot of people have given this game a bad rap, but you've been seeing it on my screen here. Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO published by the same publisher, EA, the same company that published Battlefront. This is a better Star Wars game than Battlefront is. And it's by the same publisher. But here's the difference. Instead of DICE, and you guys, for those of you who have been following my channel, you may know this. For those of you who do not follow my channel, if you're new to my channel, I am a huge supporter of BioWare. I love the Mass Effect trilogy. I love the Dragon Age games. I love the previous Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic games. A huge majority of what BioWare has done, I'm a big fan of. I love their style of games, these story-driven games with, you know, with being able to give you choices and dialogue, being able to shape how the story goes depending on your choices. I love that kind of experience. It feels like a different experience every time. You can play Mass Effect so many times, and each time can be a totally different experience based on the choices you make, whether they're Paragon choices, Renegade choices, how you interact with your companions and other characters around you. That's the kind of experience that makes it worthwhile and also adds the replayability, because it then makes you want to replay it again and experience all the different choices and everything else that the game has to offer. That's what I want from a game. Whoops. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I rambled too long, so. But this is the kind of game, Star Wars The Old Republic, that I would absolutely, that is my ideal Star Wars experience. And just to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about, let me show you just in the starting screen here. Now, you can choose your allegiance. Now, I'm going to do a separate video of this when I do a preview/introduction of when I eventually do my Old Republic playthroughs. But you can be able to choose from either a class in the Galactic Republic or the Sith Empire. So if you go to the Sith Empire, you can be able to then choose from one of 4 different classes to be able to make your character. You can be either a Sith warrior, which emphasizes lightsaber usage, as well as being able to force choke people. You could be a Sith Inquisitor, which is kind of like Palpatine, being able to master the dark side of the Force and use unlimited power. If you ever wanted to create your own version of Boba or Jango Fett, you could do that by playing a bounty hunter, which has their own story. And if you ever want to be a secret agent for the Empire, an Imperial agent, you can do that. Now that's just what the Empire has to offer. What about the Republic? Well, if you go to the Galactic Republic... Oh, hold on. Cinematic. Alright, here you can select a Jedi Knight, which emphasizes lightsabers. You can choose a Jedi Consular, which emphasizes being able to use the Force and being able to master it. You want to be able to choose a Republic Trooper, serve the Republic as a regular trooper, you can do that. Or if you ever want to create your own Han Solo-like character, you can choose a smuggler and be able to do that. And what's great is no matter what side you choose, no matter what class you choose, you can be able to do this many different ways. You'll come across a various different groups of companions. By the way, you do get your own Wookiee companion if you're a smuggler, which is great. But no matter what side you're on, what class you are, you can choose to be light side or dark side, and how the story changes and how people react to you and your decisions can be very different from one another, which is fantastic. I love that. I love that it's like it offers you so many different things you can do, and that it can be able to make it where it offers you a different experience every time. Yes, some people have given this game a bad rap as an MMO, and I think that's unfair. I think a lot of people have been saying, like, when you're done with the stories, there's not much end game content. I think that's a lot of people who are used to games like Warcraft or Guild Wars, that all they care about is PvP, raids, and other stuff like that. That stuff has never really been that interesting or interest me that much, partly because I've never gotten into it, but also because, I mean, I'm not sure if I would ever have the time to be able to do that, to commit to doing that, unless I was able to do this full time. If I was able to make enough where I could do this full time without having to work another job, then I could probably be able to be like, oh yeah, sure, I could be able to do join up with my guild and go on raids at this set time and set day. Maybe I could commit to that, but I can't. I'm in this because the BioWare storytelling of this game is phenomenal. That they give you all these different that's the great thing. Each of these classes have such long, very detailed, drawn-out stories that offer you these incredible experiences in the Star Wars universe, and how you can shape your character, whether they are a Sith or a Jedi or dark side or light side, it doesn't matter. There's so many different ways you can shape this story of yours, and it's absolutely incredible. This is, for me, the ideal Star Wars video game experience. Creating your own character being able to immerse yourself into the Star Wars universe. Battlefront does not offer that. It offers you a first-person shooter multiplayer experience and nothing more. If you want a good first-person shooter multiplayer experience, there's a number of other games out there that offer you a better experience than Battlefront. You could get the new Call of Duty Black Ops 3 game. I've heard that is probably the most content-filled Call of Duty game yet. There's Destiny. Tons of people still play Destiny. There's Battlefield Hardline. I mean, there's numerous other first-person shooter games I can name off that would give you a better first-person shooter multiplayer experience than the new Battlefront game. But if you're looking for a good Star Wars game, do not believe the PR crap that you've been hearing, whether it's on TV or whether it's from these reviewers who are clearly getting paid off by EA, such as IGN, to endorse this game as an incredible Star Wars experience. I cannot believe when I see the ads that IGN says offers me everything I ever want in my Star Wars fantasies. That is a load of crap. I'm sorry, but I consider that a load of crap because that is very limiting in what your fantasies are. This, to me, is the ultimate ideal Star Wars fantasy experience in a video game. It has to offer, yes, I mean, it is free to play. Yes, there is a subscription you can do, just like World of Warcraft, where you gotta pay $50 a month, or the different payment methods. So yes, you are limited in what you can get if you don't pay the subscription. If you do only free to play, if you don't play the subscription, you will be limited to certain things. You won't get as much experience. You won't be able to sprint. You won't be yada yada yada. All these limitations. And, so obviously I would say if you can afford the subscription, by all means, because if you are a Star Wars lover like I am, this I recommend and endorse as the ultimate Star Wars video game experience today. I mean, they just added a whole new expansion called Knights of the Fallen Empire that very much upgraded and improved this game. This is as good of a time as any to play this game. Obviously you need a PC to play because it's an MMO. If you can be able to get some friends and play through this game together, like as a group, which you can do, it's a lot of fun. Being able to experience all these different stories and classes in the Star Wars universe, it's incredible. So, do not believe the PR hype. Don't think that just because it says Star Wars on it, that Battlefront is an incredible Star Wars game, because it's not. It's a lie. It is a first-person shooter game that is trying to rip you off by asking you to pay $120. Because that's the thing, guys. If you pay for the regular edition, which is $60, you're not getting all the content of the game. Oh, no. You got to pay them another $50 to get the full content. They are blatantly trying to rip you off, saying, pay us $120 or you're not going to get all the content of this first-person shooter game. I mean, if first-person shooters are your thing, fine. But I would say you could get better experiences playing other first-person shooters right now. Maybe Destiny or Call of Duty, but not Battlefront. But if you want an incredible Star Wars game, this is the game for you to play. Yes, there's a subscription method thing if you want to get the full content, but it's worth it. It's very much worth it. And I highly encourage, don't just play one, because if you play with multiple characters on the same server, you can be able to unlock various different things, perks, experience boosts, all these different things in what's called the Legacy tab. It's a very interesting thing, and I'll probably mention it when I do my preview video. So I know this video's gone on for a while, but I just had to get this off my chest, because even at my job I've been working, people have been wanting to buy Battlefront, and there are times, even though I know I shouldn't, I want to tell people, do not buy this game because it's not worth your money. This game, Battlefront, is not worth your money. It's not worth $60. It certainly is not worth $120. Do not believe that hype. Do not believe that PR stuff, okay? Don't believe it. Don't buy Battlefront. Just download this game on your PC. Yes, pay the subscription, but this is going to give you a much better Star Wars experience than Battlefront ever will. So I just had to get that off my chest. So my name is DJ Neeks, and I had to get that off my chest. That's about Battlefront. And go see Force Awakens. And, eventually my playthroughs for the old Knights of the Old Republic games will be coming soon. And who knows with Old Republic, because unfortunately I've had processing issues running this game on my PC, where it's crashed on me numerous times, But then again, I guess that's a regular thing with PCs, although mine's not that great. Hopefully someday when I get a better PC, it'll be able to run better, and I can give you guys a better experience in terms of the videos I would make. So until then, my name is DJ Neeks, and I'll see you guys next time.